Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. We are here for the fourth and final round, the back nine, out at the Vista del Camino XL layout. It's myself, along with Pete Ulibarri. And Pete, what an incredible front nine we've had, and we're going to have some fireworks here in the back. Let's start out on a hole 10.
Hole 10, we call it the pine tree hole. Most shots are going to land out in here if you're throwing gentle. These guys can throw forehands out to about this spot. And then it's just a left to right approach. Land on this kind of fast green and see if these guys can putt it in. There was recently, a year ago, we added a Mando on this tree that you see on the left. Keeps people from going up and high and around. Forces down the fairway shots more.
Well, there was only a handful of birdies on hole number 9 as we closed out the front 9. A handful of birdies in the entire field. Kyle Klein was one of them. He's at 32 under, now tied with Barela, and Paul McBeth is at 35 under. Still anybody's game with your brother on the chase card, and McBeth crushes the backhand.
All right. It's an interesting lie right there. We'll see what he does with it. Anthon burning the roller in. That looks good.
Yeah, the crowd loves it. I'm sorry, the park patrons.
Not.
Here's AB with the forehand, and that's got great angle. You know, in round number 2, we saw him tight to the right side and was out of position. He ended up making a great putt to make the birdie, but today he made the adjustment.
Yeah. Said forehand coming in. That pine tree right there is about 60 feet short of the basket. Puts it right up in there.
So Klein maybe getting his feet under him. McBeth told me this is his Jordan zone, the black and the red. Okay. I told him, yeah, what that is a $300 Frisbee, and I've got some for sale, those black zones. In fact, Pete, your brother is trying to get some off me. He's trying to get some of them off of me, and he's ready to pay a premium. AB, easy approach.
And a forehand from Josh.
As they're walking up the fairway, McBeth says, "Oh, you just want to join the club?" He's like, "Yeah, I just want to do what you guys did." So that's why he threw the forehand.
I haven't really seen Josh throw many forehands. So he's a backhand technician.
Yeah, it's not really his forte, but a number of years ago, he certainly added it to the bag, but he doesn't lean on it nearly as much as the other 3 players do. And look at hole 10. Making it look easy. Everybody birdies.
Nice.
Huge shout out to Sandy Point and so many of the other sponsors you've seen throughout the weekend, as hole 11, not exactly easy to come back at.
Not easy to come back at. Once again, highs are out here. Hopefully land in this area, drift to the left a little bit. These guys are going to throw spikes or lower burning shots under our back, the trees that are at our back. And the green is a little steeper, a little faster. They're going to have good control because it gets pretty icy. Or we'll add the caveat to icy that this is Phoenix and it is very hot, but it's our best resemblance of a slippery green.
Yes, us Midwestern folk maybe have a slightly different definition, but I hear you. So McBeth, backhand. It looks like a good, safe, logical play out there.
Yeah. Yep, right in the shadow of the big pine tree. That's pretty much prime. Josh
Anthon
there.
Yeah, he kind of gets over on it a little, but then overall is keeping it way lower.
Scary spot. AB. Where are we going to land?
Yeah, just
Way up there is where we're going to land.
Kyle getting out the Bushnell 850 rangefinder. They don't pay me to say that, but it is an incredible product, as so many of us disc golfers have grown to love.
It is very fun to say 850.
I believe I asked Kyle, and I want to say it was 337 to the pin, is what I feel like I remember him telling me.
So in order to cut a 500-foot throw down, he throws it super high to get the distance he wanted to go. So he just threw that really hard.
And the park bench is going to serve as Josh's bag holder for a moment. Look at, you talked about the position. That's really an awkward stance.
Awkward stance. He's got an opening there. He's far enough left that he can work that shot around, but that is a miscue.
Yeah, you heard him say, why'd I try that? He was really, I say it all the time, he was going for the hero shot, trying to make up for the mistake he previously made. And look at this low laser, as opposed to the hyzers that everyone else would take. McBeth says, I'm gonna put it up the gut.
That was a nice looking shot. It's a little bit fast. And because of the hill, it's really like you have to bend that shot into the hill to get it to stop. AB throws a good spiking shot right there. So Josh is going to try and figure out what he's going to do with this. Hey, we got a forehand again from his miscue. Oh,
a little bit hot there. So now here's Klein from 35, looking at another birdie.
And he got it.
Beautiful.
It's a nice stroke on that one.
McBeth just a bit closer, but on the back end of the green.
I said his disc was coming in hot. It looked like from the other camera angle that he had gone a little further than that.
Either way, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it doesn't convert.
With what we have going on the other card, that's like leaving the door open.
It is, and I think we're going to check in and see what your brother's been doing. We saw he went 6 down on the front 9. And I believe he came into the round tied with Josh. And so clearly he's right in the thick of things. Josh doesn't connect. Let's get it going here, AB.
There we go. That'll make the family happy out there. It's often fun to watch the families that come and follow their young kids now and how they all just sweat bullets, and boy, they enjoy riding the wave of this game.
the emotions as they're out there taking it all in. Barela family, some of the sweetest, kindest people you could ever interact with.
They're wonderful people.
All right, so spinners on the green, of course. Keith and the crew over there, thank you so much. And we're going to look at hole 12, the gunite hole.
The gunite hole. That whole wall that you see is all Shot Creek concrete. Throw a big hyzer out. Maybe see Anthony throw a forehand that'll swing into here, but it can be quite tricky if the wind is blowing. I think they're going to make it look pretty easy today.
Well, first we're going to check in.
Here, let's go.
Yeah. Look at this guy. So he's 7 under so far for the round and clears it, putting himself up on the dance floor. Notice his score, 35. He moves to 36. He is officially tied at this point with McBeth and right in the thick of things. So here's it back to our lead guard.
Kyle Klein. Got the distance. the edge of the circle.
Very makeable putt. AB. Just the raw power of a forehand.
Carries OB the whole way. With his distance, he covers a lot of land once it's in.
Fully committed. So McBeth is at 36. Moments before this, your brother Paul had got to 36.
Paul's going to try and answer. Said, ring, ring, Paul. This is Paul.
Like, wait a minute. No, I'm Paul. No, I'm Paul. No, I birdied. No, I'm about to birdie. Oh, and skips it off the wall there, and hard job for Anthon.
That's one of the tricky things about this hole is that gunite levels off at the top there, and you can't quite tell from the tee how far it goes before it catches grass. So you have to cover more land or more OB than you think. AB leaves it low.
And even after watching this in edit, even though I was the one filming it, I still think that limb hanging above is my microphone dipping into frame from my more amateur days, but that's just the tree.
Swinging your hand at it.
And Kyle, sweet looking birdie. Staying right in the thick of things. He's at 35. Oh my gosh.
Just leave a message. I'll get back to you in a minute.
We'll see you on hole 13. And Anthon with the park job.
B taps in.
Wow. The scores continue to jump around. Now, we're going to look at hole 13, and then I think we're going to check in with your brother. This one's 405 feet. 405. Not easy.
Not easy. The flight the drone is taking right now is kind of the tunnel gap. Some guys are going to throw a big hyzer, but this gap is not an easy gap to hit, and you have to push 405 feet. So excited to see what these guys do. Excited to see what this guy does right here.
So he keeps it very low. You kind of just seeing it skip up to the right of the pin, and that leaves you in a danger zone if you're short.
Yes! He's excited. I'm excited. This round is shaking up, Terry.
Wow. So he goes to 9 under. He's at 37, and again is officially knotted up with McBeth, as McBeth was in the middle of the long walk to this hole when Paul was doing that.
Kyle goes high hyzer. He's going to have the more difficult putt right there with a lot of water in his back. Where Uli left it, his putt can finish in a hyzer, so he's in less danger when he ran that putt.
Again, this hole, one of the more difficult ones out here.
All right, Paul goes for the hyzer.
Yeah, we heard him say he slipped, and he said, just don't get stuck in the tree, and I think that'll work.
That's good.
Josh is going to go a little more direct. Wow. And that stayed up.
On the ledge.
It did. I think he's looking at another awkward stance. AB's plenty of power, asking for it to bite. Pin high.
Look at that. That's pretty fortunate.
So again, anytime, even if you're not out of bounds, you always can bring up to the 1 meter in from an out of bounds area, even if you didn't go OB. And that's what Josh is going to utilize here.
See that wire on the tree? There's a bunch of like wire mesh that's been wrapped around the tree. We had a beaver made it into this waterway last year and started chewing up all the trees. We almost lost all these trees right here. So they wire meshed it, and eventually I think they trapped and took the beaver out.
Wow. I'm going to leave that story as it is. And Josh makes a great recovery.
Well, Josh was chewing at the tree. I kind of had to let it go.
Yeah.
It wasn't for protecting the trees from the disc. It was actually a beaver.
So,
all right.
Klein, you said this is the danger zone. He's 50 feet away.
And you risk it for the biscuit, and he's got a soggy biscuit.
Oh, you got to give him credit. Fully committed to the shot.
Yes.
Like you said, if you're going to run that putt, that's either in the basket or that's in the water. There's not a lot in between from that distance.
AB. All the walkers love it. I love it. That was a good putt.
He's picking up the birdie biscuit right out of that oven. So McBeth currently tied for the lead.
Ring, ring, knock, knock. I'll get back to you. Look at that.
They're playing chess from two different fairways is what they're doing right now. Josh, good recovery. He's going to walk away with the par. And
Kyle's going to bring it in.
Josh making sure he's taking his full meter from the water's edge. Kyle did get complimented on his shoes back on hole 8. I know one of the park goers, and I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, they are pretty awesome looking shoes, but not so good on the double bogey action.
No. Himself a little rake. He's fishing.
Yeah.
You got to land the fish, Kyle. Fishing is good for a solitary thought, that's for sure.
Well, and let's see if he can pick things back up. We're going to look at 14 before we catch in with your brother again. Check back in.
Let's fly down this fairway. They're going to be throwing straight down this gap. You got to be left of this big eucalyptus tree. Once again, about 300 feet from the drop zone by that eucalyptus tree. So these guys, I feel like this isn't the hardest hole in the course. They should be able to take care of business with it.
Yeah, we're catching up with your brother's second shot. That's where he had thrown his drive to. This is his approach. So now he's looking at a birdie opportunity. He's at 37.
Oh, hey, McBeth, I got this one.
Where are you at, fool? So he goes to 38 under and is knotted up. And a few minutes later, McBeth arrives at this tee.
Let's see what he's got.
And they are trying to distance themselves. Barela back at 35. McBeth goes straight up the middle, nice and low.
That's prime territory.
He made it look so effortless, but that's a nearly perfect shot and executed just at the right time. You see, like AB, you see the hyzer shot. That's kind of the stock or the go-to play. But for McBeth to go up the middle with a light turnover that then comes back is it's like he's challenging himself in a different way. And Josh goes back to the bag and just says, yeah, who cares? And he decides he's going to go for the roller instead of the stock shot.
Okay.
There's the OB.
Come in before the... Nope.
Yeah, that's all the way back in the center of the fairway. He flirted with hole 6's OB line and then comes all the way back. And that's prime position for Anthon.
A good shot. Kyle also sets himself up nicely.
Yeah, so essentially 4 different looks off the tee and 4 good results.
AB playing the forehand. Ooh. This takes those eucalyptus trees on the right. way out of play when you can throw the forehand because it's just wide open sky on the left.
Klein with a putter. Just kind of, it's got to be a beat putter because the way that kind of just flipped up and then held straight for him.
Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Really like seeing the flip shots. They just have that really frisbee flight that we all love. Beth throwing his Luna.
Yeah, I'm leaving it short. Not, I mean, it's certainly makeable, but
with today's putting standards that they have set for themselves, it is a little on the nerves.
So we have 3 right next to the pin. McBeth left with the tester. He's knotted up with your brother at 38 under.
39. This is tight. It's stressful.
I've never wanted to win a race to 40, but these guys have something else in mind. Wow, so McBeth will remain 1 ahead of Ulibarri, who's on the chase card. Chase card is playing hole 15 as we speak. And this is what we do expect, though, from the lead card. You said not an overly difficult hole. 4 birdies on hole 14. I think we're going to hear from Box for Dis. Or we're going to move over to hole 15 and hear from Box for Dis later. What's the play here?
Play, throw a roller or throw a straight shot between those trees. Straight shots will land right in this area. Rollers can come up into this area typically. And then that's just going to leave you about a 300 to 300, probably about a 375 to 350 foot backhand in for the most part.
After 2 shots, here's your brother. He's looking at a long look at birdie.
Andy putt. Let's go. Terry, you got it on film. This is amazing.
He is 11 under. He's at 39. He's tied for the lead with this guy.
He says, Paul, this is your captain speaking.
You want to stay on the team, kids? Simmer down.
So Paul goes with the Annie turnover there.
Smart, safe, not
in
flashy, but very effective.
This is what AB got.
A few years ago, I released a video of AB losing his hat as he crushes this hole, putting everything into it.
All right, roller time.
Let's see what he's got.
He's caught that tree several times.
He says, oh, no.
Oh, no.
It passes the Mando. It passes the second Mando.
No. Come on, Ken. Oh, my gosh.
It checks up. AB. You can see as the crowd erupts, AB outside this circle in circle 2 on this 741 footer. Anthon has a roller.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And albeit not 650 plus, at least 550 plus here for Anthon.
Right, folks, don't get your expectations. Everybody to throw a roll like that. Oh, man. Good shot by Josh. He's in position. Kyle throws that turnover shot.
And Josh had kind of pulled on his back a little bit. He had talked about it throughout the round that his back is not in top form. He has been fighting off an injury, so you sometimes see him pull on his back a little bit after he's thrown some shots. And that was an effective roller, but it certainly looked like it hurt him a little bit.
Well, Paul is all the way down here by the Mando. I mean, he's pin high with the first Mando. Anthony's 200 feet ahead of him.
And McBeth could go with the wide hyzer, but he opts to go straight up the middle again. Oh, jeez. Incredible.
Aye, Captain.
What? I was shocked to see to go up the middle on that shot. I mean, obviously great control, but
he's choosing the harder of the 2 shots.
yeah, that's what I feel like. And Kyle banks it off the left side tree. That was definitely going to carry out of bounds. Instead, it banks off the tree and leaves him with a birdie look. Anthon throwing an easy approach.
Nice.
So AB steps up, 600-foot plus roller, probably closer to 700 feet.
What are all these people thinking?
Anthony Barela for eagle.
And hope against hope, he does it.
AB with one of the greatest holes I've ever seen played in disc golf. The eagle here on hole number 15, 741 feet. A throw-in putt from 50 feet at most. Wow. Let's take another look at it. This is my disc golf guy shot of the week. This might be one of the best shots I've ever recorded. And he cans it.
Yes. Look, every fist goes up with him. All smiles. Congratulations, Anthony. That was just unbelievable. Maybe it's not unbelievable. It is just like, thank you for making the realm of impossibility possible. That was so cool.
That shot will never be forgotten. And I'm so honored to be here in Arizona, part of this event with the crew that I brought to put together this coverage to capture that. So Kyle says, how do I follow that up? That's what he says to Gary, the cameraman. And this is what he's looking at for a birdie.
He gets it. That's how you follow it up, Kyle. You just put it in the basket, give the people what they want.
And Gio says it. What'd I tell you? He said, just make it. You got this. Huge shout out to Dylan and Dustin. All of this footage wouldn't be possible without some newer cameramen and crew members working their off this weekend. McBeth follows.
Beautiful.
He goes to 40 under with 3 holes left to play. And Anthon with the tap in. They go 5 under on hole 15, folks.
That's never happened on that hole, I don't think.
Never. And it may never happen again. Welcome back. Hole 16, 390 feet. There's a little danger here, Pete.
Super fast green, little steep hill, angle control coming in. If they've all got the forehand to get there, that's probably the shot, but you have to have angle control into this hill. All right.
Here's Uli. He sits at 11 under on the round, and he pulls it right, and that one is going to be out of bounds.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, he has been on such a good run, and anything is far from over. We've still got all 3 of these holes to go with danger on literally all 3 holes, but Paul hitting a pretty steep speed bump as he's going to put up next to the pin.
We'll tap it in. All right, he goes to 38.
He goes to 38.
We had talked about it, Terry, back at Fountain Hills. This tournament seems to always get right around that 40 under number.
Yeah, it has been kind of a magic number throughout the years. And usually you see people tear up Fountain Hills a little bit more. They played well this year, but not quite as hot as normal. AB needs that to sit.
Ooh, fortunate roll. Unfortunate roll, yet a fortunate that it didn't stay out of bounds.
And the wind kicks up for the first time. McBeth says he's blaming me for the wizardry of the wind kicking up. I'm like, hey, I'm here for the drama, but I don't manufacture it. I'm just here to capture it.
What a power that would be.
Yeah. There's a lot of things people can blame me for, but the wind is fortunately not one of them. And McBeth pulls his to the right.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Josh gonna put down a roller inside the Mando, goes out into the OB area, but then curls back up.
swings
And maybe
back
out of
down.
position, but that's inbound. That's a putt.
It's in.
So again,
Kyle's backhand.
yeah, which is a little bit surprising knowing how good he is with the forehand. He also, then again, this control he has with that. I apologize. I don't know what that is, but he throws it a lot, and he seems to have great control with it. Might be a night strike or something of that nature. And McBeth, knowing the scores, he sees that Uli sits at 38, Barela sits at 38, and he's got 2 holes left to play.
He knows he doesn't have to go for that. He's a very smart golfer.
Who you might be hoping makes a dumb mistake.
I'm on camera, on microphone, I should say.
Kyle draws metal, but not enough. And although Josh is in bounds, that tree is almost directly in his way. He just, from where he's trying to, to try and make that is nearly impossible. And he just takes his medicine and says, I'm going to have to live with a par.
Yeah. AB.
To pull within 1. We saw the nasty roll away in the previous round with Ezra, kind of deflating him entirely and dropping him a few more cards. That has to be in the back of your head is you don't want a big number here because they can rack up pretty quickly.
This hole does that. You stand at the bottom of the hill and you go, am I going to make this? Because if I don't, I don't want to know the result.
Yeah.
So it takes that high level of commitment on the putt.
And with that, 4 pars, we're going to take a look at hole 17 and then I think check back in, see what your brother's got. There's a little life left. 243 feet.
243 feet. Semi-steep little hill. Forehand shot for most of these guys. Maybe throw a little soft putter into the green. It's about it. Don't go too fast with your shot. It goes out of bounds into that little gunite area.
Paul sits at 38, 2 off the lead, tied with Barela. Please do it.
Oh, it stays.
Thank you.
You hear Barsby, always one of the first to congratulate good shots when he's seeing them on the card. All right, 39. Back at it. 39 as he heads short walk over to hole 18.
But we know what to expect from all these guys. We know what they should do on this hole.
Yeah, this statistically is the easiest hole on the course.
When throwing the forehand, about the only thing that can go wrong for these guys is if it catches a funny edge and starts rolling. Paul's going backhand at it. Colin slides it up.
There again, I couldn't quite get back in time. Anthon ready to step up and fire. Josh also realizes he's not in contention for it. He's already a fast player. So he's just stepping up and throwing.
He's fast.
Kyle a little bit wider. Inbounds.
Just
Not
by
by
a
much.
hair.
Josh, a little straddle downhill to the elevated pin.
In. When you're putting from that angle, looking at the basket, you're only seeing the lake behind you. Like the basket is elevated enough that you're only just seeing lake and just dead air behind. So it's it can be intimidating.
So AB keeping things close here. He's at 39. McBeth, the one stroke advantage at the moment. Also, your brother Paul sits at 39.
All right, Kyle, come on.
Klein and Anthon both at 35 momentarily. Klein would love to move up another spot or two. He knows the chase card shooting well. There it is.
What are they feeding these kids that they're just getting so good?
I mean, Kyle's a product of Michigan disc golf. I don't know, us Midwesterners, he's clearly not on the same diet I was at the age of 19. So he's doing things right. And love seeing it. So we're going to move on to the final hole. We're going to see what your brother's got in store for us. But hole 18, 381 feet.
381 feet, about a 300-foot water clear. There's a mandatory right there. And then by this tree, there's another mandatory that was added for this event. Keep people pushing left. This is just angle control. Keep your speed under control and try and avoid the skip. Paul's got it off. This is his last hope right here. He has to birdie this hole.
Right next to the pin, but it trickles in. There's the speed and the angle you speak of.
That's it.
Yeah, at best, he's looking at a par. He'd need a meltdown by someone on the lead card. Let's see if he can close things out. 11 under for the round. And what a run. That's where he'll remain 11 under. He'll have to see what that 39 does for him. But right now, it looks like it's going to be short unless there's a absolute collapse. I've seen crazier things, though, Pete.
Yeah, they do happen. The universe is large with infinite possibilities. And this is one possibility that I don't think I would have expected.
Wow, so AB pulls it wide. He actually goes out of bounds on that right side. And McBeth doesn't need to get fancy. I know he's a solid player, but he just needs to secure a couple of shots in bounds to walk away with this now.
He's also a showman.
Plays to that right side inside.
Yeah, Paul.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. He's a showman. He gives the people what they want to see, if it's within reason.
His within reason, I think, is on another level from most people, though.
You're absolutely correct.
Anthon, a little more direct, just behind McBeth. Trying to close things out. Oh, this is low. Oh, and it gets like an anti-skip to carry him to the right. That was very weird.
He's kind of in dismay.
Yeah, I don't know. 'Cause you always get it muted, so I don't know if
So
you come back and then just keep doing it.
they're going to have a conversation here, Pete, about how the OB versus Mandos get played.
Yeah, the Mandos, if you miss the Mando, you miss the line or Mando, you come back in, bounce down over there. You would take it from the drop zone next to the Mando. But any other OB, whether in the water or across the sidewalk, can go back to the drop zone.
Yeah, and that's
Used just for the water.
It's better than when
they're going to call over an official. 1 second.
Robert. That's what he's pulling up right now.
Yeah, Robert's here as well. So CD.
Yeah. You can take
Robert.
Robert.
No, it has to be in line.
Can we get a roll?
He's rolling there.
Any
Kyle's
OB
got
can
it.
go to the first drop zone.
Yes, so the rule is you can either take it from where it went out or you can go to the drop zone.
All right, I'll just go to the drop zone.
It'd be the first drop zone.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard man to Perfect. Thanks so much, Robert. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, and a big shout out to the crew. Robert came in and reiterated exactly what you were saying then, Pete. But great that the group wanted to make sure of it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that officials were nearby that they could clarify quickly too.
I'm not even going to mention that hot new pink shirt I'm wearing. But anyway, Kyle Klein right up next to the pin. This is Josh trying to close things out. He's trying to jump ahead of Klein after the mishap, and solid performance by Josh Anthon.
Great job, Josh.
McBeth opts to usually when you're about to be the champion, you usually putt last, but he steps up, puts the nail in the coffin.
There it is. The champion.
And champion of commentary is Pete Ulibarri. Pete, you grinded all weekend. We're looking forward to seeing some of your play from this event, but thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure and an honor, my friend.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. Let's do it again sometime.
Oh, we certainly will. We give the people what they want, and they want more Pete. They need more thermals and sinks and fescue talk. So we'll take a quick look at the leaderboard. McBeth, your champion, your brother, shoots that 11 under to jump all the way up into second. And then there is the rest. Barela, Barsby, Anthon, Hammis, Gibson, Klein, and then Mason Ford, I think, also in a tie for that sixth place spot. I catch up with our champion, Paul McBeth. Thank you for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll see you then. I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and that was my video blog. Paul, again, champion here at the Memorial. Sometimes you've been even called the McMorial. How does it feel?
Feels good. I mean, it was fun to go out there and battle, especially with the kid that I had caddying for me a couple of years ago. So good to have AB on the card, and then some other players on that second card making it fun and interesting. So it was good to be out here and take away the wins.
Right after you tapped in, you said if every tournament was just in Arizona, you'd be great this year.
Yeah.
What's it been with the start for you so far?
Up and down start, but I'm looking forward. I mean, it's a long year this year. Hopefully we get to play all the events. You never know what happens, but yeah, I got a lot to work on. So that's exciting because it's not just playing courses, it's actually going out there and working. You know?
Well, and speaking of a lot of work, you have a very busy schedule. I saw you signed up for more tournaments than we've seen in the last 5 or 10 years. What is it about that? What is it about this year that you're going to go out and try and grind out so many tournaments?
Well, we didn't really get a season last year. Only 13 or 14 events for myself, and like I said, you never know what's going to happen. So I just filled it up and see how many I can get to, and if I can get to all, great. If some end up getting canceled because of regulations, then it is what it is. But yeah, filled it, and hopefully can play all of them.
A couple of years ago, you sign on with Discraft, you come to one of the flagship events. What does it mean to win one for the home team?
Feels good. I mean, Mike's birthday was yesterday, so I told him I'd bring this one home for him. So feels good to do that, and be at a Discraft event's even better.
All right. Anything you want to say to everyone that's been watching all week?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you at the next one, Terry, and stay tuned. And, yep.
All right, that's Paul McBeth. He's your champion here at the